Syringe inoculation could be done by simply removing the entire lid, but using small pinholes is better because the lid will not need to be removed, and so the substrate will be less vulnerable to airborne contaminants. Now, mix your substrate in a large bowl. The amount of substrate to be used will depend on the number and size of the canning jars. Jars are usually sold in packs of 12. The jars shown here are 250 milliliters each. Each 250 milliliter jar will get about 3/4 of a cup of vermiculite, 1/4 cup of organic brown rice flour, and 1/4 cup of distilled water. Multiply those amounts by the number of jars. So for 12 250 milliliter jars, you will pre-mix in a bowl 9 cups of vermiculite, 3 cups of flour, and 3 cups of water. Mix thoroughly and consistently, and then fill each jar to within about 1/2 inch from the top. Do not pack the mixture into the jar. With these amounts, you should have a little bit left over afterwards. Wipe the top of the jar on the inside and outside if necessary, and then fill the last 1/2 inch of each jar with pure dry vermiculite. And put the lids on, making sure the rubber seal ring faces upward. Do not screw the lids on very tight. Instead, leave them slightly loose. Just turn them gently until they begin to tighten. Now place tinfoil over each jar top. The tinfoil will help protect against airborne contaminants after sterilization. The substrate jars are now ready to be sterilized. Make sure you have read the instructions for your pressure cooker and know how to use it properly. Pressure cookers operate at high temperature and high pressure and can be dangerous if used incorrectly. Load the cooker with as many jars that will fit, stacking them if there is room. Don't forget to add water to the cooker. Cook the jars for 1 full hour at 250 degrees Fahrenheit, 15 psi. Most simple pressure cookers will roughly maintain that temperature and pressure by design. So just turn the element on and wait for the steam release piece to shake rapidly, and then start counting down 1 hour. After that time, turn the heat off and let it cool for a few hours. Do not try to move the cooker until it has cooled down, which may take over 3 hours. If you like, perform the sterilization process in the evening and let the cooker cool down overnight. Leave the cooker closed and don't open it until it is in the inoculation area and you are ready to inoculate. Here we see 2 rye substrates, one before it is cooked and one after it is cooked. Inoculation should be done with the utmost of caution. From the moment the substrate jars are removed from the pressure cooker, they must be protected from contamination. Most contamination occurs at this stage during inoculation, often from germs that find their way onto the surface of the spore syringe or that are floating in the air. For this reason, we will wear clean rubber gloves, a dust mask, and clean clothes, and we will have an alcohol lamp or cigarette lighter to flame the needle tip before beginning inoculation. Now, for the purposes of viewing, this procedure will be shown out in the open, without any measures against airborne contaminants. Although the syringe method is not very vulnerable to airborne contaminants and should work fine in this open kitchen environment, it is much better to use a small bathroom or closet area that can easily be sterilized immediately before the inoculation procedure. This way, the air and surfaces will be virtually contaminant-free. Use a small bathroom and remove everything that isn't needed. Without opening it, bring the pressure cooker containing the substrate jars, as well as the spore syringe, a lighter, and a sealable plastic container or clean cardboard box into the bathroom. The container or box will be used to hold the jars afterward, so it should be an appropriate size and very clean. Close any windows and disinfect the area by spraying a generous amount of aerosol disinfectant or bleach solution into the air. Bleach can be mixed into a spray bottle in the amount of 1 part bleach for every 10 parts of water. Spray onto all of the surfaces in the room and into the air. After the room is sprayed, quickly close the door and leave. Let the area disinfect for 5 or 10 minutes and let the spray settle. Be mindful of paints, carpets, wallpapers, and other surfaces that will be ruined by bleach sprays. Also, keep in mind your own safety. Don't re-enter the sterilized room until most of the spray has settled. Finally, beware that aerosol disinfectant is flammable. Never use it near an open flame, such as an alcohol lamp. After this time, enter the room wearing clean clothes and a mask, and close the door quickly behind you. Goggles will help protect your eyes from stinging from bleach, but are not totally necessary. Remove the jars from the pressure cooker and place them on a surface where you have enough room to work. Once everything is in place, start by shaking the syringe to mix up the spores. Then, carefully remove the needle cap and flame the steel tip with a lighter for a couple seconds. Do not let the needle tip touch anything. If it does, flame it again. The key to successful inoculation, in combination with sterile conditions, is efficiency. The quicker you can remove the tinfoil from each substrate jar, inject it with inoculant, and replace the tinfoil without knocking anything over or touching the needle tip on anything, the better. Angle the syringe so that the needle tip touches the glass inside the jar. You can see the water run down the inside of the jar. Do 1 jar at a time and immediately move on to the next jar. A typical syringe holds 10 milliliters. If you have 12 jars, each with 2 holes, then use less than half a milliliter for each hole. If you have only a small batch of jars, then it is okay to use only half the contents of a syringe and then recap it for use later. Just make sure you flame the needle tip before and after replacing the cap. When all the jars are done, place them in the container or cardboard box and spray some more disinfectant for good measure. Place the lid on the container and leave the room for some fresh air. Now, all the hard work is finished, and the jars should be incubated. Incubation simply means for them to be stored in total darkness at a constant warm temperature. To ensure that no light reaches them, place them in an opaque box or garbage bag, or leave them in a pitch black room. The closer they are kept to 86 degrees Fahrenheit, the better, but anywhere between 70 and 90 should be okay. Many growers use homemade incubating devices in which the temperature is carefully controlled, such as heated thermoses or modified refrigerators. Large-scale growers will heat an entire room for use as an incubation area. Temperature should be constant and unfluctuating. The closer it is to 86 degrees without going too much over, the faster the mycelium will grow. A substrate jar should take 10 to 15 days to fully colonize if incubated at 86 degrees, but will take 20 to 30 days if incubated around 75 degrees.